maybe it was just that he could not dig. I'm using these old-fashioned terms, and sometimes I don't like to use them. But he couldn't dig down. He couldn't find what he needed to find. What he found against Klitschko. He couldn't find that because it wasn't as necessary to find as it was at a different time in his life, because he had the protection. I'm going to go to a crazy place. Cus D'Amato, I thought, was the greatest boxing man of all time. He was my protege. I was his protege. He was my mentor. And boxing was his whole life. And he grew up in the Bronx. He grew up where back in the day when there was a lot of gangsters. And he grew up across the street from one of the biggest gangsters at that time, Murders Incorporated, all that stuff. And he was, he was doing business with Everlast Boxing Company since they started. So whenever we needed equipment, me and Cus would get in a car, we'd drive down. In those days, it was on Bruckner Boulevard in the Bronx, where Cus had grown up in that area. That's where the warehouse was. That's where Everlast, it's not there anymore. But so we would go down there and we would get equipment. And Cus, the first thing he would do, we'd remind him, I did business with your grandfather. I know, Cus, I started with your grandfather. He gives me 50% off. Cus, we got you. For life. So that's what, it's important. I mean, it was, and Cus, you get, of course, Cus. And you were with us from the beginning. And then he would go through a little reminiscing, started in a basement. Started in a basement with your grandpa. Yep. And, and we go to the warehouse directly, and we talk to the guy, Doc, where John Toms was running Everlast at that time. He was one of the guys in the front office. Then we would go right to the warehouse, and we would get the stuff. And then when we got done, we packed up the car. He would always drive me by his neighborhood, show me his house where he grew up, and where the gangster was across the street. And here's the point. Cus grew up around that stuff, and he would make the comparisons. It's a tough one, but it's fitting because we're in a tough business. And he would make the comparison about seeing all these gangsters, and when they were first starting out, there were all the things you're not supposed to be in life, and we know all that. But we're talking about what they were, and when they were real gangsters. And again, we're not condoning that. We're not romanticizing that. We're not doing any of that. We're making a point here. When they were gangsters at their best, if there's such a thing, right? They didn't care about death. They didn't care about jail. They didn't care about any of the things that normal people would care about within the normal realm of things. They didn't care about those things. They only cared about getting to where they wanted to get to as gangsters. And then Cus said, when they got there, kind of like the silk sheet thing, when they got there and they started making money, then they started enjoying something called life. And they started caring about living. And Cus said that was the death sentence, the beginning of the end for a gangster, when they started caring about living. Because to truly be a gangster, you couldn't care about living. I know that's deep and that's a little dark and all that stuff, but think about it. Once they started the things that everyone wants in life, the reason you're a gangster, if you're gangsters, you want to get those cars and the women and the jewelry and going out to all the places and everything else. And you get that. But once you start getting it, you start deteriorating in some areas because you're no longer what you need to be to continue to get that, to continue to behave like a gangster, to not care about certain things that can get in your way if you care about them.
Yep.
They can weaken you if you care about them. And as a fighter, I thought about that. I was like, I don't want to think about gangsters. But during the fight, I was thinking when I looked at Joshua there and I saw him in the corner, he no longer cared about what a fighter must always care about, which is finding a way no matter what. Whether you bleed, whether you're dizzy, whether you the only thing that matters is find a way. Those things didn't matter as much anymore because he had gotten past those things. He had gotten the things that we all crave. He had gotten comfortable. It's kind of like Mickey in the Rocky movie. You know, you make these crazy lines and all that stuff, but they're true to life sometimes.
Yeah.
You got civilized, kid. But think about that. You got civilized. That's your problem. That's why Clubber Lang knocked you out. Well, it's a less civilized way of saying that you got comfortable. That it didn't matter as much.
Yeah.
That you got successful. Now listen, there's people out there, and those are the special ones. Michael Jordan, all those guys. I don't care if it's not boxing. You know, although Joe Louis, you know, or Muhammad Ali, they, no matter what they made, they never stopped behaving the way that you needed to behave. They never disconnected from that. That's why they're special.
Yeah.
That's why they're great. That's why I think we call people great too fast nowadays in certain areas, because they don't go down the road far enough to really, truly know if they deserve those kind of words, those kind of titles. But when I'm looking at Joshua in the corner that night, I was thinking just what Cus said he cares now about things that are getting in his way of behaving like a fighter. He cares about not being hurt anymore. He feels with all his money, whatever it is, and again, I'm just saying from experience, I know I'm not in his heart, I'm not in his soul, I'm not in his mind, but I know these places. Mm-hmm. They exist. They're real. And you could see it, that for that moment where after he got dropped, where that's the moment where you're supposed to say, get myself together, get ready for the stand, get ready to keep my title, get ready to keep that guy from taking what he wants to take. But he wasn't that guy anymore because there was nothing to lose, because he had gained the protection from that moment. The protection because maybe the money, the protection because, he had gotten the adulation and he was comfortable and recognized and just blessed in his own way, where he felt, and you feel that in life sometimes, where you come to these moments where you say to yourself, you know what, that doesn't matter no more. But as a fighter, it has to always matter. But you guys out there, you know what happens. You come to a moment where as long as I got my family, as long as I have, as long as I have my health, as long as I have the things, the rest of it don't matter. Go take it from me. I don't care. It don't matter. And that's beautiful to get to that place. But as a fighter, as a gangster, you can't get to that place. You're out of business, baby.
As you just said that,
right? You're out of business, baby, if you get to that place.
As you just said that, it reminds me of Alex Vosdick when I asked him what was going through your mind when Adonis Stevenson hit you in, I think, the 10th round. Right. I said, what went through your mind? Because I was thinking, oh, that's it. He's done. And he said, I was thinking, oh my God, all my dreams, everything I've been working for has flashed before my eyes. I'm going to dig deep. And that's exactly what he did. And
I can't give in. And I can't lose this.
And not only did he get through that, but he said as soon as he fought back with more aggression and to genuinely dug deep, he saw the expression on Adonis Stevenson's face change to like, oh shit, I just hit him with everything I have. And now he's stronger. And he won. the world title.
Fighters see those things.
Yep.
Fighters are there so they know where they are. They know what they're seeing more than you know, more than the people out there. They know. They're in it. Mm-hmm. Like Ruiz saw. 4 seconds before the referee stopped it. Ruiz knew what that meant. He knew what this meant.
Yep.
It meant, I don't care no more. I don't want to be here no more.
No, you're right.
It's not important anymore. I don't have to bleed. I don't have to hurt. I don't have to be dizzy no more.